So, day 2 of 10 players I would get rid of and replace in the summer. Today, Nacho Monreal, and I thought long and hard about this one because personally, I think he's been our most consistent performer since we signed him all them years ago. He's chipped in with some vital goals over the years. We all remember the goal against Man City in the semi-final of the FA Cup. The year we went on to beat Chelsea in the final. He scored against Man United along the way. He scored quite a few crucial goals, like I've said. But for me, this season, he has been highlighted as dusted as far as I'm concerned. Yes, he can play centre-half, he can play centre-back, etc. But for me, I think that there's better players out there to go and replace him with. And let's be honest, we're not exactly flooding with quality left-backs at Arsenal Football Club. We've got Sead Kolasinac, who has actually done really well in the last few weeks, and put in some really good defensive performances as well as his attacking duties as well. But Nacho Monreal this season has been caught out of position umpteen times. He's been absolutely roasted by so many players. We all remember a couple of weeks ago, Ismaila Sarr at Rennes had him on toast the whole game. He had a tantrum, a paddy in that game, waving his arms about like, what's going on here? And they broke away and they scored their third goal. Luckily, we got through that tie in the end. But you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I don't want to sit here and cuss Monreal because, like I said, I do think he's been our most consistent player since we signed him. I think he's been fantastic over the years, consistently 7+ out of 10 every week, and chipped in with some big vital goals. But I think this season, I know he's scored. I know he's signed a new contract, a 1-year extension, I believe. But I think that's more about trying to get some money for him in the summer. I think the club have realised that stick him on another year, up the value a little bit, and try and recoup some money for him. Because let's be real, Kolasinac is the future going forward for now. Whether that remains in the summer or not, I'm not so sure. Because to me, I can't see Kolasinac being as good as he has been for the last couple of weeks, consistently over a whole season. He sometimes just looks too big, if that makes any sense. But like I said, coming back to Monreal, I think that defensively, I think he's one of our better players. Offensively, he's quite decent, but I think age and pace and all that's just caught up with him, and the physicality of the league now, and he just looks clumsy. He has done all season for me this season, and it's a shame really, because for me, he was my player of the season last season. Aaron Ramsey obviously got that, but I would have given it to Monreal. No matter how shit we were defensively last year, he was always the one that you could rely on to bail your team out of trouble. And he's been like that for a long, long time. But sadly, it is what it is, and I would replace him, and I'd go out there and find a left back. And I'm going to name 4 left backs. Before I get into 4 left backs I've had a little look at, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the video round the houses. Let people see in the content. And big up all the new subscribers as well as the old subscribers that have been here throughout the journey. Not far from 10k, as I keep saying, we're getting closer every day. So make sure you smack that subscribe button, stick the notifications on, and you will not miss an episode. So I am going to go for the first choice that I would go for in the summer. This is not necessarily in order. Like I said, I've picked 4. This ain't necessarily in order, but I've just written a list and off I go. So the first one for me, Ben Chilwell at Leicester. He's played quite a few games this season. I think that he's actually played over 60, 70 games for Leicester now. Good player, very good player. He's 22 years old. Leicester, yeah, I know they're not the greatest team in the world, but he has been a mainstay of that left-back position for a long, long time now. And, you know, he's consistent. And that's what I want from a defender. I want consistency. Over the years, we have had defenders that are just up and down like a roller coaster. I want a player that is consistently good every single week, and then the odd bad game every now and again. But I think he can give that. I think he's young, he's English. There will be a premium on that, obviously, because he's English. Leicester City probably won't want to part with him. But with that being said, there's a certain man up at Celtic, and Brendan Rodgers is now Leicester manager, a certain guy called Kieran Tierney. And again, another top-class performer. I had a look at his statistics earlier, and for a left back, it's quite mad. I know it's not a relentless league, it's not a really tough league as such, and Celtic do tend to run away with everything, but in his last 50 games, Tierney, he has had 11 assists from left back. That is pretty decent going, to be honest with you, and that's better than a lot of midfielders in our league. Like I said, I know it's a tougher league, the Premier League, so it would be a step up for him, but I'm pretty sure that Brendan Rodgers is going to probably be looking at that guy because he knows his quality. I know his quality, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this video know that Tierney is a top draw player. And let's be real, Virgil van Dijk started off at Celtic, or worked his way down from up from Celtic, sorry. So, you know, if that's anything to go by, then, you know, you can't overshadow that league. You can't say, look, just because he plays for Celtic, he can't do it in this league. Van Dijk is the proof that you can do it, and I'm sure there's other players that we could list from that league that have as well. But for me, Tierney could go to Leicester, and if that's the case, Ben Chilwell could be out the door and coming to us or any other team in the top 6, because I think there's a couple of teams that could be looking for a new left back in the summertime. So, you know, how much would both of them cost? I'm not so sure. I think Chilwell, like I said, because he's English, that's going to bump the price up a little bit, maybe 30 mil, 25, 30 million. Tierney, I reckon we could get a little bit cheaper if I'm being honest, maybe 20, 25 at a push. But whether either of them are in our radar, whether we're going to even replace a left back, it's all subjective. I'm just telling you what I would do. There's also a couple of others I've looked at as well. There's a guy called Junior Firpo. And funny enough, it's funny because when I was doing my research on this guy, I actually see a story pop up that Real Madrid are after him. This guy plays for Real Betis. He's 22-year-old and he is a left wing back. And he's quite a decent one. He's quite physical. He's 6 foot tall, which is quite big for a left back. Normally they're a lot smaller than that, but he's a big physical lump and he's quite quick. And he's on Real Madrid's radar this summer. So yeah, I'm expecting big things from this lad going forward. I do watch a little bit of La Liga, not as much as I used to, but he's played about 20 odd games this season for Betis. So that's not bad. That's not bad. And he's played in some of the bigger games as well, the Madrid game and the Barcelona game, etc. So, and he's doing all right for them. So that's another one. How much that would cost, I have no idea. But the fact that he plays in the Spanish league, the fact our manager is Spanish, who knows? There could be a little link there. If Real Madrid come calling though, that's the nail in the coffin. That'd be game over. Excuse me. So there's 3 I've named. Last but by no means least, I'm going to throw a little off-key swerve ball into the mix here. There's a team that are languishing down the bottom of the table that concede goal after goal after goal after fucking goal. More goals than we concede. And this kid was touted as a 50, 60 million pound player. The whole world wanted him before they got promoted. And that is Fulham's Ryan Sessegnon. Again, another one. He's young. They're doomed. They're going down. And yeah, I think that could be an angle that we could look at and say, look, you can come to Arsenal, work with a proper coach. At the moment, he's currently working with Scott Parker. Before that, he had Ranieri. And before that, I can't even remember the other. They've had so many managers this season, I can't even remember who's their manager. But I think that with him, he's very attacking. He can play left wing, which could vary things up if we signed him. I mean, how much is that going to cost? I don't know. I think the fact that he's played he's not played a massive amount of games this season compared to what he played last season. Championship's obviously a little bit easier than the Premier League, as we've seen. Fulham are languishing down the bottom and they can't defend, whereas they run away with that league last season. They were so good last season, smacking teams up. But for me, I think that could be a little curveball that we could go, right, Kolasinac could be our main left back. You can come to Arsenal, massive football club, big players, big names, and we'll nurture you, we'll train you, we'll teach you what to do. And we'll teach you that position properly, defensively as well as offensively. We know the kid's got talent. Like I said, he was touted around the whole world wanted him. Madrid, Barcelona, everyone wanted him when he was at Fulham. All the big clubs in the Premier League. And there was talk of 50, 60, 70 million pounds. I don't think that he would cost anywhere near that this season in the summer. I think we could go in there and maybe get him for 35, 40. He's young enough. He's 18, 19 years old. So I think that there's a bright future there for that kid, but it's whether we want to go and do that. Personally, out of the 4 for me, I would go with Chilwell. because I think Chilwell has proven that he is top class. And I do think he is top class. A lot of people may disagree with me, but I do think that that geezer is a top class left back. And he's only in the start of his career, and he's got a long way to go to be world class left back. But he started off his Leicester career extremely well. So that's who I would go for. Let me know what you guys would do. Leave it all in the comment section down there. I enjoyed the interaction yesterday as well. Odd few fucking idiots in the comments, but that's standard behaviour. But yeah, I'll try and reply to as many as I can like I did yesterday. If I do miss you out, don't take offence to it. It's just I'm busy and I can't literally reply to everyone as soon as you leave a comment. But let me know who you'd go for. Give me 2 or 3 names that you guys would go for. Don't forget, share that content around, smash your thumbs up and subscribe. Until tomorrow when I come with player number 3, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.